The wreckage fell from the sky like a second sun, trailing fire across the dusk-struck heavens. Galen Thorne barely looked up from his heap of scavenged ship parts. On a barren moon orbiting the dead planet Arcos V, he'd long stopped being surprised by the skies. He lived alone, out of choice, in a dome he patched together himself using scrap and grit. The only sounds were the distant wind, the creak of metal, and now, something new. Crash. It landed hard. Far too intact to be debris. Something alive. Maybe. Or salvageable. Definitely. Galen slid on his exocoat, grabbed his scanner rifle, and headed out across the rust-colored sands. The crash site was nestled between jagged rocks. Half buried in the crater was a sleek, matte black starcraft. Military design. Advanced. He crouched listening. No alarms. No defense drones. And then a hiss, the cockpit cracked open. Out climbed a figure wrapped in a pilot suit, visibly limping. She pulled off her helmet, and Galen froze. She wasn't human. Tall and angular, her skin was a pale violet, marred with ash and bruises. Her eyes, deep gold slitted like a feline's, locked onto him with tension. She pulled a short, humming blade from her side. "State your purpose, scavenger," she growled. Galen raised both hands. "Didn't know it was occupied. You alive?" "I am now." "Ship is not." "You're lucky it's me who found you. Some would have stripped it and left you in the crater." She eyed him warily. "What do you want?" Galen looked at the ship, then at her. "Help you fix that thing. If you're not planning to gut me." Her name was Kilira, a pilot of the Elisari Dominion, a species known for their pride, elegance, and imperial reach. She'd been fleeing a patrol gone rogue, her ship outgunned and fried mid-jump. Galen dragged her injured leg over his shoulder and helped her back to his dome. He lived in a skeleton of old ships, a haven built from crash sites and war wrecks. The structure had layers, solar shielding, radiation dampeners, and patched systems running off pieced-together cores. To Kilira it was barbaric, but to Galen it was home. She limped inside and sat on a cot made from repurposed shuttle seats. Her expression shifted from suspicion to reluctant awe. "You built this. Scrap's all I've got. But I make it work." Over the next few days, Galen scavenged for parts. He melted down alloys, retooled fractured conduits, and fused systems together with his plasma welder. Kilira watched him, still stiff with pride but less with suspicion. He worked in silence mostly, except when explaining what he was doing. "You're skilled," she admitted one night, her voice low. "Did you train?" "Once. Side Engineering Corps. Left during the Expansion War." "You deserted." He smirked. "I didn't want to build weapons anymore." Kilira was quiet after that. She began to assist. She was clever, meticulous, and surprisingly strong for someone so lithe. Together they gutted what was left of her propulsion chamber. Galen patched her ship's fusion core with parts from a centuries-old frigate engine. It wasn't beautiful, but it worked. Every night they sat beneath the dome, watching the twin moons rise. Kilira told him of the Elisari worlds, golden cities in the clouds, forests that glowed, oceans that sang when the wind passed. "Sounds like a dream," Galen said. She looked at him. "This place has peace. I haven't known that in years." One evening, after welding a new stabilizer fin, she nearly collapsed. Her wounds weren't healing properly. Galen insisted she rest, giving her his cot and sleeping beside the reactor unit instead. But sometime in the night, he woke to find her curled beside him, breathing steady, her hand brushing his. I sleep better near you, she whispered. I don't know why. When her ship was finally flight-ready, silence hung between them. Kilira stood by the cockpit, now refurbished with metal from 5 different vessels, and stared at him like she was memorizing the lines of his face. You could come with me, she said suddenly. Galen blinked. Come with you. My people owe debts. I could speak for you. You'd have position, wealth. No more scrounging in dirt. He laughed softly. You think I want wealth? She stepped closer. No, I think you want something real. And so do I. There was vulnerability in her voice. For someone once raised to look down on humans, she now stood on even ground. You're serious? Galen asked. I want to marry you, she said, unflinching. In my culture, a bond like this, it is sacred. You saved me. Not just my ship. Me. They didn't leave immediately. Kilira stayed another week, and then another. Their bond deepened, not out of desperation or loneliness, but shared respect, long talks, and moments of quiet comfort. They slept entwined, bodies warm against the cold of the stars. One night she asked him a question. Why did you stay here? On this moon. Alone. Galen looked at her. Because I didn't think anyone worth staying for would ever fall from the sky. She kissed him. When the Elisari sent a retrieval ship, they were met with stunned silence. The once formal princess pilot emerged from the vessel with a human beside her, his arm around her shoulders. Is he your prisoner? The commander asked coldly. Kilira stood tall. He is my chosen. We are bonded. The crew murmured. The Elisari rarely mated outside their species. But Kilira's tone left no room for challenge. You will grant him safe status. And respect. The commander hesitated, then bowed slightly. As you command. Years passed. Galen lived among the Elisari now, a rarity at first, but over time a legend. The human who repaired an elite pilot ship with junk and won her heart in the process. They built a home atop a floating island, surrounded by gardens of bioluminescent trees and hover beasts that chirped like birds. Kilira became a war hero turned diplomat. Galen became an engineer who taught Elisari how beauty could be built from broken things. On the anniversary of their meeting, she still curled into him at night, just like on that first cold evening by the reactor core. I never expected this, she whispered once. Galen smiled. Me neither. But I wouldn't change a thing. Neither would he.